Hello, hello, my crafty friends. It's probably Sharon. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to use up some of your leftover book pages and make this cute three-pocket piece that you can put on a page in your journal. This is my idea number 2 of my ideas journal. So hang in there with me and we'll get going. All right, let's get rid of some of your book pages, guys. So first thing you're going to need is 3 pages out of a book. This book, the pages are about 9 inches tall by about 6 inches wide, just so you kind of get an idea of how big these pages are. Of course, my ideas book is, it has pages that are 8.5 inches tall by 5.5 inches wide, so that's what we're working with, and that's what we want this to fit on. You'll need to decide whether you want this on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, when you're in your journal, and that will help you decide, do you want the pockets going from this way or this way? So I am doing this for the right-hand side. Now get your 3 pages, and we want to find text blocks that are taking up the whole page. So like I wouldn't want to use this one, at least this side of the page, because text block is kind of, only halfway through. So this is a good one because it's taking up the whole page. So is this one. And so is this one. All right, so let's cut off this jagged side, this jagged edge, because I think it'll be easier for us if we just kind of trim that up and make it even. Okay, so I can flip this around now. So all of these pages are facing up the way that I want them. Now the next thing I'm going to do is fold these over, starting with this one will be the one in the back, and I'm just going to fold it over just a little, maybe like 1 inch. And if you want to be really precise, you can get out your scoreboard and, measure 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So there's one. We're going to take our second page and fold it over a little bit more than we did the first page. Okay, so this is what we have so far. All right, and then the third one, again, folding it over even more. All right, so this is what it's going to look like. You can see the 3 pages. All right, the next thing that we want to do is glue those inner flaps down. I'm not going to go all the way to the ends with the glue because I do want to do some stitching around, and if I can help it, I don't want to run my sewing machine or my needle through the glue. So I'm going to try to just kind of keep it in the middle a little. Don't want to run through the glue with my needle. All right, make sure that's nice and stuck down. I'll do the other 2 as well. All right, and the next step is we're going to ink those creases that we just made. And book page is a little thin, so it's a little tricky, but I'm using Vintage Photo Distress ink. All right, so that's what we have now. Let's jog it down. This is what it'll look like. All right, now I know that my text block is 7.5 inches. So when I cut it off, I'm probably going to be cutting, just under and over the text block. So what I need to do is glue these down just with a dot of glue here and there along where I think will be the edge, because I need these to hold still while I sew them. So let's try to line these up how we want them. And then, like I said, I'm going to be cutting down to the text block. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, and hopefully when I sew it later, I won't be going through that. Oh, I moved it. Okay, same thing on the bottom. All right, that should hold it in place. All right, now let's take a look at the height and width of this piece that we have now. So let's turn it. Right now it is almost 5 inches wide and 9 inches tall. So I want to have a little bit of a gap on this side and on this side of it when I put it in the journal. So I'm going to cut it down to 4.5. That will give me an inch, a half inch on either side. So I'm going to cut it down so it's 4.5 inches wide, carefully. And then the height, I want it to be about 8 inches high. So I'm going to try to just cut off these margins. Awesome. All right, so that's what we have so far. Now I'm going to go and take it to the sewing machine. Okay, so that really added a lot to it, didn't it? Okay, so again, now that we have that part done, I'm going to go ahead and ink around the edges that are still white. All right, that looks great. Woohoo! All right, so now we can decide how we want to decorate it. So there's so many ideas. You could use a stencil, you could use stamps, you could collage, you could do so many things. And, you know, I've never really decorated these two. It's always, you know, of course, this one, this bigger one. So let's see. I have some numbers. Let's see, I cut out a number here. And I've got a little envelope that I made just out of a triangle, and then you fold the 2 points down, and so it's just, yeah, it's not an actual envelope, but it looks like it. It'd be perfect for putting a little tag in there, and it just fits, so that's good because I made this beforehand, so it's good that fits. And I have this number. I've had 3 people in the last 2 weeks ask me about the big words and the big numbers that I use and where do I get them. And I actually just made them myself. But I thought since there's so many people asking, maybe there's other people that are wondering and they just don't ask. So I'm actually going to be posting a new digital in my Etsy shop with big numbers and big words. So sorry, sidetracked for a second. Here's some, I've printed some of these off, but like right now there's 4 sheets. I think I might add another one before I put it on Etsy, but there'll just be a digital you can print off, you know, any color you want. And there's lots of different words and numbers, like I use in my videos. If you're interested, I will be putting that on Etsy. So sorry, let's rein it back in now, Sharon. Okay, sorry. Just wanted to put that out there. All right, so let's decorate this. I've already kind of inked around the edges of that, but I think we need some color. Got some of these, you know, that you roll up your coins in. I thought they would be fun to add like in clusters and stuff. So let's try to add one of these. Maybe I'll just rip. I want that to open. Yeah, I just got these on Amazon. I was just scrolling through one day and I was like, oh, that would be cool to put in collages. So I'll put the link below for this, for the little pack. Okay, so let's see. Do something like, and then the number. Just want to make sure it fits and you don't have to cut any of it off. Yeah, what I love about these is you can print them off in on any colored paper that you want. And you can even like coffee dye the paper after you printed it. You can really make them look cool. Oh, and also I put them sorry, I'm back to this again. I put them kind of far apart so you can, make a larger margin so you could do stitching around them, or, you don't have to cut them right next to the word. You can put a little bit of a margin around there like this. So you can sew around it, Anyway, sorry, sidetracked again. Okay, so let's see. I have this tag and I'm hoping it will fit. So that looks good. Nice little tag there. Put a little bit of ribbon on the top. All right, let's get our book. All right, I've marked the page that I want to use this in. There we go. All right, so I'm going to put on this page. It'll go like this, and you'll see, we have a bit of a margin here and here, as well as the top and bottom. So if we want to put any stamping or anything behind there before we glue it down, now would be the time to do it. A little tricky to stamp when you want to stamp on the, like here, when it's already bound, but I'm going to give it a try. So I'm just going to use this stamp that says important, and I'm using, I don't know if I showed that, Archival ink and sepia. So this is the permanent ink, and I'm just going to stamp along here. So maybe we'll see a little bit of that word peeking out. And it might not turn out because it is hard to do this after it's bound. But we'll see what we get. Oh, actually not too bad, guys. All right, maybe let's put a little bit down here too. And I'm just trying to add a little bit of, character to the page. So this piece of fabric is bound into the journal, but I have a little scrap of it here, and I'm just going to put it down on the bottom corner of the page, just to kind of tie it in a little bit. And it won't really affect putting things in and out of our pockets. And notice how I've kind of overlapped it off the page a little. I like it when things kind of peek over the edge of the pages. Okay. Let's see, anything else? Let's put some of this on too. Slightly. Make sure I'm not gluing my pages together. All right, I think that's good. So let's put on our little book page pockets. All right, so we need to just glue around the edges, because of course even the back of it is going to be a giant pocket. So I'm having so much fun with this ideas journal. And I don't know if you guys have been watching my channel, you probably noticed I've been putting out like twice as many videos for the last month. My doctor put me on something to help me sleep. It's just over the counter. It's called GABA. But I told her I was having trouble sleeping. She wanted me to get this. And I haven't noticed it help me much with my sleep, but for some reason it's helping me focus a lot better. And so when I go to the doctor next, I'm going to ask her if that's like, if they use it for that as well. I guess I could just look it up myself, but I'll put a link for it below. I might as well. The links for everything. But yeah, it's called GABA. And it just seems like I've had so much more focus the last month since I've been taking it, even though I'm taking it to help me sleep. Just pleasant surprise, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry for a sec. Okay, I don't know if this is quite all the way dry yet, but I went ahead and made some stuff ahead of time. So yeah, just some little bits and bobs. Did some inking around the edges. So I love how tall things can be that you can put in here. This. It might be fun to put page tab. I don't know. Let's see. I do like putting page tabs on the things I put in here because I think it's really cute. But I think that looks too big. Let's see. Let's try this one. This is just one I just made with a hole punch and then cut the corners off. So something little like that. I'll hurry and glue that on. For a little tab. I'm going to let that dry for a sec. While that's drying, I'll show you this other example. Here's another one I did, decorated it a little bit different. And this is for a left-hand page. So I just used a little, one of the words that I was showing you, and the little guy. He actually looks like my nephew. Heidi, if you're watching, what do you think? I see some similarities there. Yeah, so that's really cute too. And just another idea. I mean, there's obviously endless possibilities when it comes to decorating these. Let's see. I don't know if that's quite dry yet. I clamped it so it'd stay put. See, you can just slide it in there. I just love the look of it. So let me know what you guys think. I love to read your comments. Is this something that you're going to try? Have you done something like this before? And of course, remember there's the the community section of my YouTube page that I would love to see what you have created. I would love it, love it, love it if you could post what you've made there. Anyway, thanks guys. I'll see you in the comments. Until next time.